All right, so already first search result is Ben Shapiro. And not in 4K. This is too far. All right. So this is okay. All right. This is critical drinker thumbs down. All right, people. Who's this on the left? The thumbnail choices are very funny. I might have the exact same thumbnail, but I think it's funny still. Well, I guess I'll leave this search result open because I'm kind of curious about what the takes are on this. All right, here we go. No 4K. That's probably what Ben Shapiro and Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic are complaining about, right? I think so. No 4K.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them.
I just what I wonder, I'm just trying to get into the mind of anybody that like cares enough about Star Wars to just continue on with it like this. Like I am decidedly not watching any Star Wars. I did the new trilogy and I was like, okay, that was it. We'll see if there's like a revamp that I feel inclined to participate in to be a part of a cultural conversation. But I also think that's part of the trick. I think people are duped into watching Star Wars because they feel like they have to be a part of some sort of cultural conversation. Like, oh, everybody's watching it. Nobody liked the third one. Nobody did. Everybody saw it. It made over $1 billion, right? Same with Jurassic World Dominion. Nobody liked it. Everybody knew nobody liked it, but everybody felt obligated to watch it. Isn't that crazy?
Tell me what comes into your mind.
Like
Ramen. Space alien ramen. I'm still waiting for like the part. I'm still waiting for the drop of the most epic woke shit that's ever gonna happen, apparently.
life. Balance.
What's the point of having a new show? Like, what are they addressing? What are they addressing in this new show? There's so many Star Wars shows. Didn't they say they would scale it back? Didn't like one of the CEO didn't like somebody returned as a CEO and they were like, we're scaling back Star Wars probably. Didn't somebody say that?
See fire.
I see fire inside the mountain. That was from The Hobbit 2, a very not totally distracting choice for the end credits song. I saw it. Yeah, I'm a fucking film critic. And I also feel like I was duped. And I saw the pinata cut of Star Wars 3. So, whatever. I didn't want to see it.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense.
I'm still just waiting for like I need to hear Ben Shapiro talk about this after. That was a funny ass face. That was really good. Go.
What happened?
I sensed darkness.
All right. Yo. Why they gotta put green people in the show? Okay. What? Oh, is it you're using the Force? Is that Carrie-Anne Moss? Is that fucking Trinity?
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power.
Hmm.
And who is allowed to use it?
Oh, wait, maybe it's not just the trailer, because one of the thumbnails said, like, full plot leaked. Maybe they're mad about the plot leak.
What is that?
The Ring of Power? 2-episode premiere June 4th. Well, this is a subscription service that I don't have and I don't think I'll ever have again. I got it for free with like a other thing that I had, and then I just didn't continue it. All right, let's see what's the problem? Because it just looks like other Star Wars shit. It just looks like other Star Wars shit. Maybe more black people than usual. I don't know. Let's see what the problem is.
The Star Wars universe, I don't know. Do they have a death wish over there? Honest to God, I don't know what they're doing. So Star Wars is a series.
Props to Ben Shapiro for being one of few people on the planet with a more annoying voice than me.
That has adult...
We're competitors in this field.
Audiences. Like, I watch the Star Wars series, but I watch them with my kids.
How do you sound always whiny no matter what you say? Like...
They are predominantly aimed at children. There are no bigger Star Wars fans on planet Earth than my 10-year-old daughter and my 7-year-old son. In fact, my 10...
I don't believe that, but okay.
10-year-old daughter just had a Star Wars birthday party for her birthday in January. And I got to tell you, I don't understand what the hell they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Meaning, why are you making it hard for people like me to let my kids watch your content? So the new creator of a Disney Plus show called The Acolyte, Star Wars The Acolyte, is a self-described queer director who explained that she wishes for this to be a kid-friendly show that includes queer content, which is a mutually exclusive proposition. My kids are not going to be watching anything that involves queer content because...
I wonder if it will get more substantive than this, or if it's literally just, like, kids can watch straight content only. Because there's nothing inherently sexual about straight people kissing. But a queer couple kissing, even if it's just a side character, that's inherently bad. And you're trying to show them that there is another way you can do it. But that's not true. And I don't want that for my kids. And I want absolute control over my kids' sex lives, or whatever the argument is.
Children. That is not a thing. That is not a moral stance with which I approve. Here is, like, what are they doing? Why would...
I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any explicit, like, penetration or, like, probably even implied sex on a Disney Plus show. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Disney Plus is, I don't know. What's the rating on all those Star Wars things? Like fucking K-10, like PG, I guess.
Disney, you guys are morons. You're taking the greatest IP in the history of the movies and you're subjugating it.
The greatest IP in the history of the movies. This is great. I thought you said kids were the biggest Star Wars fans. It sounds like you are.
It's your own ideological extremism. And you're killing yourself in the process, you absolute dolts.
All right. It was probably just a still image of this that solidified most people's opinions. It's probably the getup. It's probably mostly that. But let's watch this clip. I need a drink for this. I'm sorry. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Oh, and the drink and the pee are unrelated, but those are two separate things. All right, we're back for a bit.
When I saw Frozen as a grown woman, I
can't say ass on your family-friendly program, The Daily Wire.
Wet ass P word.
cried through the entire movie. There was just something about
Frozen. They're talking about Frozen.
The relationship between the sisters, the like de-villainization.
They didn't. Who subtitled this? Probably that's automatic TikTok subtitling because she said de-villainization.
The like de-villain.
But villainization, but not de-villainization.
Of the classic kind of fairy tale bad guy, you know, the concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. Like it just destroyed me completely. And I thought, gosh, you know,
I wonder if Ben Shapiro is going to like twist this into implying that she's talking about incest or something.
I would love to make something like this that is,
She's got a very funny suit and hair.
you know,
And glasses. She's got some Dwight K. Schrute glasses.
for lack of a better
Is that who it is that has those glasses? Does Dwight wear glasses? I don't think he wears glasses. Who wears glasses like that? She's got like, I'm thinking of a different character, like Bubbles from like Trailer Park Boys. I don't know. She's got like particular glasses. I don't know what it's.
term Disney, meaning
I'm saying insane things. Well, here I am.
it's something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person.
Gotcha.
But I would have been able to understand as a queer person, and I think I would have had a completely different life. And so I really was inspired by it and was like, God, I would love to make a story like this.
Incest? Let's find out.
She's talking about Frozen, by the way. She's suggesting that Frozen is a queer story, or a story that you can watch more easily as a queer person. Which, guys, if you're saying the quiet part out loud, I've suggested in the past that the next Frozen movie, it would not be a shock. There's a heavy push from inside Disney. I know this from people who work at Disney. There's a heavy push inside Disney to make Elsa come out of the closet, which would completely destroy Disney's brand. I mean, I'm talking like billions of dollars in damage to Disney's brand.
Okay, that's not going to happen if they want to sell the movie in China or Russia, first of all. Second, this is a really overblown response to her just, literally, she was just saying her as a queer person is in her as a female who is not attracted to males. She was able to get more out of a story where there was a kinship between sisters rather than the, stereotypical every other movie in existence from Disney where, well, not every other, but a lot of traditional movies from Disney where, the goal for the female character is to find a man, essentially, right? Like, is there room for both kinds of stories? I think so. Is one story correct and the other one's not correct? I don't think so. Right? Like there's criticisms you can make about the older generations of films and storytelling. And depending on the type of person you are, like if you're super traditionalist like Ben Shapiro, then you might gravitate towards those older styles of narratives. But there's nothing wrong with a different type of narrative existing that, I mean, Frozen was what, like a record-breaking Disney movie box office wise? Like it made like $1 billion or some shit, right? It made a lot of money. Very successful movie. So clearly it connected with more people than just queer women, right? She was just saying that it was more accessible to her. Anyway, let's find out.
So what are they doing? They're having this lady not only create a Star Wars series, but apparently infuse the entire Star Wars series with the queerness.
Infuse the entire Star Wars series with the queerness? Let's go back and I just want to listen to her exact words here and see exactly what she's saying for him to infer that. I just want to hear exactly what she's saying here.
When I saw Frozen as a grown woman, I cried through the entire movie. There was just something about the relationship between the sisters, the like de-villainization of the classic kind of fairy tale bad guy. The concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. Like it just destroyed me completely. And I thought, gosh, I would love to make something like this. That is, for lack of a better term, Disney, meaning it's something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person.
Gotcha.
But I would have been able to understand as a queer person, and I think I would have had a completely different life. And so I really was inspired by it. And was like, God, I would love to make a story like this.
That was it? Because she didn't even say that she would put anything queer in it, just something that queer people can understand. And the example she gave was just something where two sisters loved each other and there wasn't a need for like a male love interest as like a checklist on the story. That's all she said. Who knows what the show, maybe there will be dudes kissing dudes and girls kissing girls like every 5 minutes. But if this entire reaction is based on that clip, she didn't even say that she would put queer things in the movie, just things that kids who might be queer would understand more easily than just like the standard heteronormative stuff. She didn't even say she would put queer things in it.
She's about Frozen, by the way. She's suggesting that Frozen is a queer story, or a story that you can watch more easily as a queer person. Which, guys, if you're saying quiet part out loud, I've suggested in the past that the next Frozen movie, it would not be a shock. There's a heavy push from inside Disney. I know this from people who work at Disney. There's a heavy push inside Disney to make Elsa come out of the closet, which would completely destroy Disney's brand. I mean, I'm talking like billions of dollars in damage to Disney's brand. So what are they doing? They're having this lady not only create a Star Wars series, but apparently infuse the entire Star Wars series with the queerness.
I just want to be absolutely clear that's how we got to this point. If this video that he's created is one in which he shows the evidence for the claim and then his own reaction to the claim, then he inferred from her saying that there was no male love interest and there were sisters who loved each other and it wasn't even queer, that it was something that queer people could understand. And his reaction is, let's hear this last sentence again. You're infusing the entire Star Wars series with queerness?
Make Elsa come out of the closet, which would completely destroy Disney's brand. I mean, I'm talking like billions of dollars in damage to Disney's brand. So what are they doing? They're having this lady not only create a Star Wars series, but apparently infuse the entire Star Wars series with the queerness.
Infuse the entire Star Wars series with the queerness. Sometimes one of the biggest reasons why people like Ben Shapiro are able to have an audience is because a lot of people just listen to things without without really trying to like break down or be critical of like how they get to a perspective or what they're using as evidence to show their perspective. You know, you can show a clip and then say something that's leaps forward from that clip, and people will go like, yeah, and because they trust him, because they would trust, you know, his perspective. Maybe they just agree with traditionalist sort of thinking. But he does this a lot, and a lot of people like him do this a lot, where they'll state the evidence for something. They'll show like, oh, here's the clip of them saying, and then what they interpreted it as is not what was in the clip, but something just wildly off. And who knows, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe even though she didn't say that at all in that clip, maybe it'll be the queerest Star Wars ever.
Right, as we have been told that they are supposed to do, according to The Pink News, which of course is a gay website.
This might be it.
According to this website, following in the footsteps of The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka, and Andor, Star Wars The Acolyte is set to hit our screens in June, and is already a smash hit when it comes to LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign representation, at least. Trans icons Abigail Thorne and Jen Richards are both involved with the series. Thorne plays a character called Ensign Euros, and Richards is one of the writers. Plus, showrunner Leslie Headland, that's who you were hearing a moment ago.
Wait, who's Abigail Thorne? Is he listing people that aren't even like actors? Oh, God. It's fucking philosophy tube. Oh, yeah. Are they like writing for it? That's so weird. That's interesting.
Is a lesbian, and her wife, Rebecca.
Wait, hold on.
And Richards is one of the writers. Plus, showrunner Leslie Headland, that's who you were hearing a moment ago, is a lesbian. And her wife, Rebecca Henderson, will also act in The Acolyte alongside Thorne and other LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign icons. Amanda Stenberg, who is gay, non-binary, and uses she, her, and they, them pronouns, also stars in the show, as does Charlie Bennett, who appears as a Yord Fandar, a Jedi. Barnett is gay and says he realized the truth about his sexuality when he was just 13.
I gotta find this article. So it's packed with LGBTQ talent, is what they're saying. Let's see. I don't know who Jen Richards is. Thorne plays a character. Oh, so she's actually acting in it. Abigail Thorne is actually acting in it. Okay. Richards is one of the writers, plus showrunner lesbian, and her wife. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what I'd like to point out is I'm just going to take a wild guess here and assume that Pink News is covering the queer people involved, but that it's not like the way that this article is written, it almost makes it seem like, oh, the only people working on it are queer people. But I'm just going to take a wild guess and let's see if we're going to fact check myself right now. If we look at the credits for, it's not Ashoka. What is it called? The Acolyte. All right. All right. Leslie Highland is the series creator who is a lesbian. And then what else we got? All right. So though, as expected, there's a shit ton of writers on here. And it seems like they only mentioned the ones that are, or like the people involved that are queer. So writing credits, Leslie Hyland, who is a lesbian apparently, based on by George Lucas. And then we have writing credits for all these other people, which I don't think all these other people are mentioned in the article, and we'll see. But I'm pretty sure this website is just trying to be like, oh, here's all the queer people involved. Not necessarily that it's, you know, I don't know what the show is going to be like. That, like, even I think that with Disney, even if you do have a significant portion of, like, let's say the writing and a chunk of the actors being either like trans or gay, I don't know how much of that you're going to be able to get into the show. I don't know. I guess to some people it's too much to just have a trans person in the show at all. Like on screen and visible and just existing. So yeah, Amanda Stenberg, gay non-binary, and uses she, her, and they, them pronouns. Also stars in the show as Charlie Bartnett. All right. She's in 8 episodes. I don't know if her character's non-binary. We'll find out. Charlie Bartnett in 1 episode. So we're already kind of getting to the, you know, they're literally just including anybody who is LGBT in the slightest, because that's the goal of this article. Okay, so we got like what? Let's count all the people. Abigail Thorne, Jen Richards, show creator. That's 3 people. 4, 5, 6. And it seems like past that point, they're just doing little introductions of these people. Right? Am I wrong, or is it just 6 people in a show involving hundreds? We'll see how many of the main characters there are. So there's one actor in the main cast of characters that in real life is non-binary. And then Abigail Thorne, like, what, she's acting in it? I thought it said she's acting in it. How come I don't see her even on the... What? This article said she was. Right? Involved with the series. Thorne plays a character called Ensign Iris. And they're not even on IMDb for some reason. So this article... When did this article come out? How new is this? A few days ago. So for some reason, Abigail Thorne... Should I just look up her IMDb right now? Like, what the fuck? We're going to see actress. So for some reason, her IMDb is not even updated. So we don't even know exactly if she's even a main character. It seems probably not, if she's not even showing up here. Even Carrie Ann Moss is supposedly only in 1 episode out of the 8. Series creator is a lesbian. And so let's, with all that information in mind and keeping note of all these other people, and then plus producers, plus all these other jobs who are not mentioned in the Pink News article, let's keep that in mind and continue watching and see if that influences anything here.
Are both involved with the series. Thorne plays a character called Ensign Euros, and Richards is one of the writers. Plus, showrunner Leslie Headland, that's who you were hearing a moment ago, is a lesbian. And her wife, Rebecca Henderson, will also act in The Acolyte, alongside Thorne and other LGBTQ plus minus side by side.
So if I was watching Ben Shapiro's video, I would assume that the entire cast is fucking the queerest fucking thing ever. I would assume that the entire show, that they only hired gay people and queer people to write, produce, direct, star in, etc. the entire show. That's kind of how this is being framed. But let's continue.
Icons. Amanda Stenberg, who is gay, non-binary, and uses she, her, and they, them pronouns.
The way that he does this with his head when he says that is very funny.
Henderson will also act in The Acolyte alongside Thorne and other LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign icons. Amanda Stenberg, who is gay, non-binary, and uses she, her, and they, them pronouns, also stars in the show, as does Charlie Bennett, who appears as a Yord Fandar, a Jedi. Barnett is gay and says he realized the truth about his sexuality when he was just 13.
So you could make a criticism against this article, and you could be like, okay, who cares if they're gay? The answer to that is it's fucking pink news. The whole point of the website is is that it's gay, right? So if they're looking for content and they're looking to make an article, then if there's 6 people, right? Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure. Somebody, feel free to fact check me on this and put as a correction in the video later, Olivia, if you want. 6 people involved in the production. One of them, the creator, don't get me wrong. But 6 total people are involved in a Star Wars show that are queer. Then you make an article about it. Because you're fucking pink news. I don't read pink news. Doesn't really matter. But It's a very sneaky, very subtle kind of like, it's an interesting framing. Let's just put it at that.
How exciting. By the way, one of the stars of the show, this Abigail Thorne person.
He said stars. Let me just check this. He said stars. And I don't know if this article even uses that word. So this article doesn't even say Abigail Thorne stars in the show. So subtle wording like that can kind of influence a person into believing that they have more of an involvement than they do. Involved with the series is what it says. Plays a character. So maybe in Ben Shapiro's mind, maybe this is just how he views media. When you say stars in the show, you just mean someone who appears on screen at one point. Maybe that's his interpretation. I don't know. We'll see what the show's like. I could be wrong. But I have a funny feeling, usually if they're in like the whole series, I could be wrong. I don't even know when this is being released. But I am inclined to believe that they're not really a star of the show. Just based on the fact that they're not even on the IMDb.
In the show.
Even after that article, they're not even on the IMDb.
As does Charlie Bennett, who appears as a Yord Fandar, a Jedi. Barnett is gay and says he realized the truth about his sexuality when he was just 13. How exciting. By the way, one of the stars of the show, this Abigail Thorne person. And this person started off on YouTube making a channel called Philosophy Tube. Thorne came out as transgender in 2021. Philosophy Tube launched in 2013 when Thorne was
still just reading
a dude.
The article.
And then Thorne came out as trans in
that was a little editorial. I wonder if he was reading and then just obviously the article didn't say just a dude, but I just want to oh, here we go. Let's see. No, he's not even reading the article at this point. He didn't even just add that to the okay, those are his notes. Those are his notes he's reading.
13. How exciting. By the way, one of the stars of the show, this Abigail Thorne person. And this person started...
I was trying to look at what mic he had. I think it's funny that he has a lav and the... what is it? Condenser mic? Is that what it's called? I think it's kind of funny. He has both.
Off on YouTube, making a channel called Philosophy Tube. Thorne came out as transgender in 2021. Philosophy Tube launched in 2013 when Thorne was just a dude. And then Thorne came out as trans in 2021 and doubled down on, quote, her theatrical skills in 2022. When a play she wrote and starred in, he...
So he is reading the article. He has to be reading the article if he's making those. If he says she and then has to correct himself. He's reading another something. He's reading something. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so he has to he reads the she in the article. Here we go. Yeah, he is adding his own commentary to that. It's a very funny, kind of stubborn thing to do. We all love it.
Is just a dude. And then Thorne came out as trans in 2021 and doubled down on, quote, her theatrical skills in 2022 when a play she wrote and starred in, called The Prince, ran in London. The transgender-themed work is based on Shakespeare's Henry IV, Part 1. That sounds amazing. Sounds just great. So glad that
he could be reading the exact same blurb and replace it with Gina Carano, and he wouldn't see any issue with that. He would be like, "Look, she's got background in some theater shit." You know, like there's nothing of note about that little blurb of like she did some theater stuff. Like there's nothing crazy. How long is this video? Oh, it's 8 minutes and 24 seconds, just enough for mid rolls. That's why. You gotta make the content. You gotta make the content.
they can just stack up the trans characters in the middle of a children's series. But they're not after your kids or anything. They don't want to indoctrinate your kids into anything remotely like trans propaganda. They would never do anything like that, ever, except they're totally doing that. And that's their entire goal. And they keep saying it over and over
entire
out loud
goal.
so you can see it. It's absolutely amazing. This is legitimately why we created Bentkey. It's so your kids can actually watch content that they love and enjoy without having to be hit over the head with a bunch of left-wing social agitprop. That's why. That's why Bentkey exists. So head on over to Bentkey, subscribe to that rather than giving your money to the fools at Disney who are destroying the great IP of all time. It's just ridiculous.
Direct competitor to Disney Plus.
Why are you destroying this IP? Why? I'm angry on behalf of the IP. Not on, like, the creator can do, Lucas can do what he wants. I don't care about him. He's uber wealthy. But everyone who is a fan of the series has a stake in what happens with IP. That is how it works when it comes to pop culture. And when you destroy that pop culture in the name of wokeness or stupidity alone, just in The Last Jedi, you're doing yourself no favors, and you're actually committing a sin against the fan base. Sin!
You're committing a sin against the fan base. Oh my God, is the rest of the video just like an ad?
We'll get to more on that in just a second.
Okay. It was like, we're 5 minutes through.
First, I have some pretty full days. Got the show, the company, being a dad. I can't keep up with my day if I don't.
Oh my God! It is just an ad. This video is like 8 minutes long.
Sleep starts right now. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, who is a deeply stupid human being, does not have two brain cells to rub together. So she was questioning Tony Bobolinsky, and she suddenly announced that RICO violations are not a crime, which is weird because they are.
Wait, I thought you said you'd get back to it.
Or stupidity on that and just alone, just in The Last Jedi. You're doing yourself no favors, and you're actually committing a sin against the fan base.
Hold on. Listen to these words.
The fan base. We'll get some more on that in just a second.
We have some more on that in just a second. Now he's on to a new subject. He recorded this for the ad, and then they placed it in here and then added a completely different subject on the end so that they could do mid-rolls.
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez.
We'll have some more on that in just a second, and then they never address it again. Okay. That was it. That was the whole thing. The show creator's a lesbian. There's some people involved that are either gay, trans, or non-binary. 6 out of like the total hundreds of people that worked on the show. One of them in 8 episodes, seemingly the star, is non-binary in real life. The show creator's a lesbian. And her quote said that she would like to make something like Frozen that queer kids can understand. Does Ben Shapiro think Frozen is a queer movie? Did Ben Shapiro talk about Frozen? Does he hate it because there's not the male, like, you gotta have the king, the true love thing? Like, if let's say this came out and it was the fucking gayest show ever made. Let's say this comes out and it's the gayest show ever made. Gayer than The Big Bang Theory. It's one show. I don't know. It seems like I don't know, it's a lot of the usual suspects saying a lot of the same things over and over again. So is that why there's so many dislikes on it?
You were the chosen one!
You know, it's hard for people to realize, and I'm not supposed to say this, and I wasn't supposed to say it then, but no.
It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
No.
Nerdrotic.com.
After the resounding lack.
Is this for babies? Why is there a baby saying the intro?
After the resounding lack of success of the female-centric Ahsoka in 2023, Disney Star...
I like that there's music in the background of this one. I like that there's some like editing. There was an editing joke at the beginning. That's a lot more than a lot of people do. There's a lot of really successful channels that don't even like have a tone. You know, I haven't really watched Nerdrotic. I just know that he's a part of the crowd that is expected to make a video about this sort of thing when other people do.
Star Wars decided to start 2024 with this.
And we're in 2024
John!
now, and I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
Boy, here we go again. Yeah, I'm out.
That was the director of the much unanticipated Rey film, Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, when 2024 was just hours old. Never mind the fact that she is not the...
I like that there's some production to this channel, at least.
...the first woman to shape Star Wars.
There's editing. I like that.
And certainly not the first activist woman to shape Star Wars.
My body of work over the last 20 years has been guided by my activism, and every single piece of work that I've ever created has a piece of activism in it. It could be very overt or it could be covert, but it is there.
That is why you fail.
But
I mean, you could throw up the fucking directors of Sound of Freedom saying the exact same thing too, right?
Not to worry, Debbie Downer, because Lucasfilm has figured it out. They've cracked the code. They've pounded the analytics, and they're going to turn things around by shaping Star Wars with a female activist showrunner who also happens to be the former personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein.
Oh no, they personally assisted him.
There I go, getting all negative again.
Like, what is it? Is that to imply she participated in his sex crimes?
Like I said, this one's going to be completely different. It's going to be female-centric with diversity and inclusion. That's right, the long-awaited, much-anticipated Acolyte trailer dropped a couple of days ago, described by showrunner Leslie Headland as
Frozen.
Sorry, did he say Judas Cow? What does that mean?
Completely different. Anticipated Acolyte trailer dropped a couple of days ago, described by Does
anybody know what he's saying?
Showrunner Leslie Headland as
Frozen meets Kill Bill. I'm curious what that means. Can we elaborate?
Are we getting a...
I like that the music changes. I like that the music changes here. What does that mean? Judas Cow.
musical?
You're not getting a musical, although that was Kathy's first question when I pitched it to her. She was like, so a musical with a snowman? I was like, no.
Are you stupid or something?
So much of it was about, the kind of villainess actually be a powerful, misunderstood woman. It was hitting me on such a deep level and yet servicing the genre.
I mean, why not Will and Grace meets RoboCop or Modern Family meets Saw?
Has he watched Frozen? Do they think Frozen's like a gay movie? Or that, like, it was so woke that it went broke or something? Isn't the whole point of having, like, 30 fucking different shows that you're going to try new things with each of them? Or does everybody just want there to be one show with 30 different names? Like, I don't fucking know. You got to do Star Wars meets Star Wars. What?
I digress. Anyway, with the Acolyte trailer, Disney Star Wars has managed to do the unthinkable, the unimaginable. They've brought us all together again, just not in the way they intended, because aside from a few clapping seals, everyone hates it. As far as I know, this is the first Disney Star Wars project to be ratioed on YouTube, and that's certainly going to get worse as time goes on, and after watching it, I understand why.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them.
Coincidentally, that's exactly what Leslie Headland said to all of Harvey Weinstein's clients before
I like this music.
leading them into his office.
Tell me what comes into your mind.
I don't like that effect. That was that wobbliness was like fucking glitchy. I don't like that.
What comes into your mind?
Everybody loves Sydney Sweeney right now. She's selling. Every generation has one, you know? Remember when it was Megan Fox? Remember the Megan Fox generation?
I see diversity.
I see inclusion.
I see equity.
And lesbians in space! Oh. And it doesn't end there, although I wish it did, because apparently Lucasfilm hasn't leaned into the South Park meme enough.
Put a chick in it.
Oh my God, this is fucking fascinating to me. So I remember this South Park episode had a trailer out and they were like, we're going to talk about fucking Star Wars being woke or whatever, Kathleen Kennedy. And everybody was like, we're winning the culture war. And I think Tim Pool talked about it. The usual suspects, everybody who's going to make content about anything slightly related to Kathleen Kennedy and woke and shit, they all made a video, and every single one of their videos before the episode was out was just like, we're winning. Star Wars gets it. Or sorry, South Park gets it. I watched the episode, and like many South Park takes, it was pretty nuanced in the sense that it also made fun of the people that are obsessed over it. Didn't they end the episode with the line like, yeah, this is kind of fucking stupid to be this obsessed? What was the line they ended the episode with?
Eric, I know you care about all things Disney. I'm sorry I was so reckless with the things that you love. It was just lazy.
I guess just wailing on woke stuff all the time is pretty lazy too.
It's kind of funny. I wonder if they got that part of it. It's lazy to harp on woke stuff all the time. See, if I don't know if I would be using this if I were this man. I don't know if I could watch that episode and then use that in future stuff. Because I don't know, like it's not like they kind of just commented on it as a popular thing without really, you know, vindicating your side or anything, right?
In there, although I wish it did, because apparently Lucasfilm hasn't leaned into the South Park meme enough.
Put a chick in it, make her gay. Put a chick in it and make her name it gay. Put a chick in it, make her gay. Put a chick in the linguine and make her gay.
So are we at the point where right now it's just a bunch of behind the scenes photos and he's like showcasing this in this montage as if like all of these characters are going to be gay or something? Or is he just finding like awkward frames from like behind the scenes videos where you could pause on someone and like they make a silly face, which happens if you're just going frame by frame in any video, you can do that. I don't know if we have that many examples yet in the show that's not out, but we'll see.
And I want it lame!
It doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't, yet it does, because this is Disney Star Wars, son.
What happened?
Well, Perry, George Lucas's timeless story was subverted and destroyed by a bunch of ideological...
Are you throwing... Is this about JJ or is it about Ray Ray? There's a lot of quick cuts in here.
Destroyed by a bunch of ideological effeminate men and women.
Who's this? Is that Ryan? No, that's not Ryan again. Who is that? Ashoka Man? The newest superhero, Ashoka Man?
Effeminate men and women. Oh, wait, that's not you, Perry? My bad. Anyway,
I don't understand that.
Apparently, we've gotten it all wrong because Star Wars is not about good or bad.
The best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. It depends on what side you're standing on, truly. You know what I mean?
Through the ages.
I don't know how much I'd value that as like a concept that needs to be in something, but
I've seen evil take many forms.
To be fair to Harvey Weinstein's former...
At least anybody entering the show, at least she's like prepared for it, right? At least she would have to anticipate all of this reaction. At least everybody getting into it is like experiencing this with some sort of preparation, you know?
Personal assistant Leslie Headland, it's like the old saying goes.
Sorry. All right, we're at 4 minutes, 33 seconds.
Being Star Wars with a female activist showrunner who also happens.
So the showrunner, back when she looked like a completely different person, and I didn't even recognize her, used to be Harvey Weinstein's assistant, brings it up a second time.
To be fair to Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant Leslie Headland,
I don't know about that. That seems kind of unfair. It seems like the kind of thing that you would be defending someone else over if you saw somebody say that against like Gina Carano or someone, right?
it's like the old saying goes. I mean, right after look the other way when it comes to her. Write what you know.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
And Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant.
Third time.
We know a thing or two about that. And as far as the Acolyte
wow, he's really hoping it sticks, and I guess it will, because a lot of these people just parrot each other, but, you know.
Trailer telling you what this series is about, I have no idea, other than bland, diverse actors in bland robes.
Could you imagine, like, being employed to someone, and then they do something bad, and now someone's, like, trying to blame you for it? What? Like associate you with that? That's crazy.
To bland music. In another bland.
Might have to censor that. YouTube's weird. Might have to censor the Dumb and Dumber clip, Olivia. Thanks.
D+ series from a showrunner who was asked what her favorite Star Wars was and couldn't answer the question.
So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie. There is only Star Wars.
It's not like, okay, I was expecting the clip for her to be like caught off guard by the question and be like, I don't know, all of them or something like that. That seemed like a pretty rehearsed answer. Like that seems like a thing that she believes at the very least. It's not like Trump when asked what his favorite Bible verse was, right?
I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal. So I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into.
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite.
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Like this, there's no reason to look at that clip and just immediately discredit her response there. If somebody asks me what my favorite Kill Bill movie is, I say I like them both as a single story. That's my genuine answer. It doesn't mean I don't know or I haven't seen them. Right? I don't know. I was expecting the clip to be a lot worse. Again, we're in the territory of like, you see what they use to justify a belief next to their belief, and it doesn't quite align. It's you know, it's reaching. It's very very interesting.
So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie. There is only Star Wars.
If she stumbled for a bit in that clip, let's look up the clip. Let's see if there's anything more to that clip. Because I'll understand why people think that if she looked like she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about.
Tell me, what kind of Star Wars fan are you?
I am the type of Star Wars fan that doesn't even have a favorite movie. I just want.
She wasn't even asked what her favorite. That wasn't even the question. She said, "This is why we look it up." I'm like, I was almost expecting to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. That's what I like. The way that they frame things is so dishonest. That's not even what she wasn't even asked that as a question.
Tell me, what kind of Star Wars fan are you?
I am the type of Star Wars fan that doesn't even have.
That's so dishonest. Come on. You know what you're doing.
The favorite movie. I just want to live.
This is how my Kimba shit went. Is like literally all it takes is just to be like, oh, I wonder where that came from, and look it up, and then it's just like, oh, this is. I discredited a 25-year-old animation conspiracy by just watching the anime. That's all you have to do. It's just like you hear someone say something, and be like, I wonder, and then look it up. That's all you have to do. Sometimes it's literally that easy.
In the universe of Star Wars continually in perpetuity forever. So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie. There is only Star Wars.
So when are you writing a Star Wars movie?
Oh, please, Queen Kathleen Kennedy.
And I want you to get out of this office right now. I don't want you here. Out!
Tell me what.
I like how everybody is memorializing George Lucas as some sort of like Giga Chad trad man or something. All right, I'm fucking exhausted, but we're going to keep going. We heard how the interview started, the clip that he used. She was asked what type of Star Wars fan she is, not what her favorite movie was. Let's see how he introduces this clip.
In another bland D+ series from a showrunner who was asked what her favorite Star Wars was.
She was never asked that. That's a direct lie. That's literally you're literally lying, dude.
Tell me, what kind of Star Wars fan are you?
I am the type of Star Wars fan.
This is the clip.
Tell me, what kind of Star Wars fan are you?
What kind of Star Wars fan are you? And then he says,
and D+ series from a showrunner who was asked what her favorite Star Wars was and couldn't answer the question.
See, if let's be as charitable as possible and say somebody sent him that clip, and let's just pretend it didn't have the first part in it, and he believed that. I don't know if I would frame it that way unless I knew that that's what the question. I wouldn't say she was asked blank, because that's a factual statement, right? If let's say you didn't know what she was asked and you just saw her responding, why would you make a factual statement about something that was asked in that interview clip that you're showing? It seems to me, because this was the only clip that I found, and it had the question in it. It seems to me like he's being manipulative. That's the impression I'm getting. All right.
Their bland D+ series from a showrunner who was asked what her favorite Star Wars was and couldn't answer the question.
So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie. There is only Star Wars.
With good editing, you can make good propaganda, you know? You can say something was one way and then just show it. And people might believe you.
And if the Acolyte trailer wasn't bad enough, the remaining Star Wars fans got another kick in the balls on the very same day. Confidence.
Isn't it crazy how this is the first video I've watched and I caught him like lying really hard or like at the very most charitable, massively misrepresenting a clip? This is the first video I've watched from him. I wonder what would happen if I watched more than one.
It's in the power of Disney and Bob's track record of driving my beloved Star Wars right off a cliff. Oh, I'm sorry, driving long-term value. I have voted all of my shares for Disney's 12 directors and urge other shareholders to do the same. George Lucas was never going to side with Nelson Peltz, who was backed by Ike Perlmutter, and it was clearly a business and a political decision. Listen, I'm not going to judge George for wanting to live out his life in peace. He's earned it.
Well, what did he sell it for? Like fucking $2 billion, $4 billion or some shit? George is a billionaire. if I sold my fucking baby for $4 billion, I'd be like, turn him straight. I don't care. Who gives a shit? $4 billion.
He's a legend, and the only thing he's really responsible for is selling Star Wars to Disney, and quite frankly, we all thought that was a good idea at the time, and little did we know it was a deal with the devil and hiring Kathleen Kennedy. But the rest of this lays right at the feet of Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, and the rest of the insane asylum that's Lucasfilm. Disney Star Wars is a zombie franchise. It's a corpse that keeps getting defiled, and every time they trot it out, it rots the entire legacy. The good news is every time
I couldn't imagine making like multiple video essays on things that haven't been released yet. I do like trailer reactions, and I do like live streams, and I do like speculation. But making like an edited video as if it's like, I don't know. It just seems like you're recycling a lot of the same things that you say about other things, and you're just applying it to the new thing. I guess you could say I do the same thing too when something's not in 4K.
Disney releases some new Disney Star Wars, there's more people coming to our side, and it's bringing the world together to roast the hell out of it. Because the comments section on the Acolyte trailer is...
Wow, it really is. So he wasn't even the one that... He's just repeating what somebody else said. He got the cue card about the Weinstein thing. And he's joining the crowd about the Weinstein thing. That's a really if you can imagine the type of criticism that you would argue against if it was somebody that you liked, I don't know if it's fair. Right? Try to imagine Gina Carano or somebody that you like. Like, oh, everybody's saying like, what? She was the assistant to Harvey Weinstein. You might say, I don't know, she probably got abused by him too then. Like, why is that something to keep bringing up about a person? That's a really bad faith thing to do.
Trailer is glorious. After watching this, I no longer fault Anakin for what he did. Nobody criticizes Jar Jar Binks ever again, and I have to agree with that. I love this one.
He has to agree with that one. Nobody criticized Jar Jar Binks ever again. That's a good comment.
Oh my God, it's so wonderful and diverse. My wife's boyfriend will love it.
Haha. It's a cuck thing. It's a cuck thing. It's a lot of the same stuff over and over. It's very interesting.
I love the part when the Sith said it's acolyting time, then slashed through 20 younglings. I love the part where he said...
At this point, if this is the commentary, I would rather just have like a live stream clip. You know? I would rather have like a very minimally edited thing from this guy if this is the content, you know?
So, that's it, huh? We're some type of acolyte.
Because then at least there's a bit more of an excuse to what you're saying. Just like speaking off the cuff. You know, speaking your thoughts. When it's an edited video and like produced and like someone's gone through the timeline several times, adding effects and music, it's a little bit more embarrassing. You know?
Close your eyes. What do you see? I see someone that could have alerted.
This is like 5 or 6 times in the video where we have the Harvey Weinstein thing. Oh, someone who could have alerted the world to what Harvey was doing but didn't. Do we know what she did as an assistant? Also, that's everybody in Hollywood that knew what Harvey was doing but didn't alert the world.
Alerted the world to what Harvey was doing but didn't. Okay, the main...
I like the laughter. I like the laugh track.
Question is, does anyone in this show survive after being stabbed with a lightsaber? I think that's a good question, and the answer is probably yes. Close your eyes. What do you see? I see Zendaya. And sand. Lots of sand. It's rough and coarse, and it gets everywhere.
Is it Zendaya because there's a black girl in it? Is Zendaya woke? Is her inclusion in things woke? Is that it?
This isn't about good or evil. It's about the message and who gets to use it. And then there's the poster with all of its subtle imagery. I mean,
she was in Dune. Yeah, I know, but like, so it was like part Dune reference, part prequel trilogy reference, or what? Because Dune has sand and the sand quote. I know she was in Dune, but I'm just trying to understand why that was like even in the video.
What's the first thing you think of when you see this, especially when it's connected to Disney and Lucasfilm?
Okay. Ew. We might have to censor some of this stuff. This is kind of... This might be too much for YouTube. I would say err on the side of caution, Olivia.
Admittedly, I still get a little surprised at Disney Star Wars' commitment to failure. It is absolute. And breaking news, Star Wars is dead. Still. It died in October of 2012 when George sold it to Disney, although most of us didn't know it yet. It died for me personally after I watched The Last Jedi the one and only time. And what I said back then remains true. You can't put the milk back in the titty. I knew it was over when I saw Disney treat Luke Skywalker about as well as Mark Hamill has treated his granddaughter. The good news—
Sorry, what? Ex-girlfriend of Mark Hamill's son. That's quite a few removed. And also Daily Mail. That's worth a cutaway. Daily Mail article: ex-girlfriend of Mark Hamill's son says the Star Wars actor tried to force her to get an abortion. Okay, so she is directly involved then. Okay. Tried to force. I don't know the context of that, but that's a funny thing to bring up.
Back in the titty. I knew it was over when I saw Disney treat Luke Skywalker about as well as Mark Hamill has treated his granddaughter. The good news is, while we wait—
I don't know. I'm trying to like, when I make criticisms of like a type of thing that I see, I do this thing where I go in my own head and I try to flash back to like stuff that I've done. I'm like, do I do stuff like that? Like usually if I bring something into a video, if let's say I'm making a video about a director or something, I think the closest that I got to that was the Lars von Trier, like, okay, I'm a Nazi thing.
Something that needs to be understood about him is that sometimes he has no fucking clue what he's doing.
Anyway, I know I really wanted to be a Jew, and then I found out that I was really a Nazi, you know, because my family was German, Hartmann. Okay, I'm a Nazi.
Because that was the funniest shit ever. and the videos are... It was on video, it was a perfect cringe thing, and I could edit the clips together, and yeah, it was great. What I'm saying is like just things that like aren't really related to the movie. Like he just kind of threw in a jab at Mark Hamill there. Because he's like woke or something. I don't know.
Wait for Disney to finally hit rock bottom as we can all come together.
I'm not saying I've never done it. I'm just trying to think if what I've done is similar. I'm kind of rough on John. It's not like I do a Google search for like embarrassing things someone has done. You know? It's not like I'm like, ooh, I'm going to dig up the dirt here. It's mostly related to the movie.
And point and laugh because everyone hates the Acolyte, and that's a good thing. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
That sucked all the fucking energy out of me. If we're going to react to something, it has to be something different. My energy levels have depleted. Let's read some comments. What's Harvey Weinstein comments? All right, here we go. Harvey Weinstein. Are we really, like, we don't know anything about... She was a personal assistant. Do we know that she covered up his crimes? Also, literally, isn't the thing that everybody knows about the Harvey Weinstein thing, isn't the one thing that everybody knows and can agree upon, is like, if you did say something or speak out, then your entire career would be ruined and your life would be over? Isn't that the one thing that everybody knows about this? Isn't that like the thing that to know about the Harvey Weinstein thing, you would know that? I don't know what they're like. It seems like a kind of an unfair thing to say. When someone tells you that there is no good versus bad, they are telling you that they are bad. That's funny. That's a crazy thing to say. She's going to make it about gay black woman who was kicked out of the Jedi wrongfully, so now she's a girl boss assassin getting her revenge on the Jedi. And she's actually right in her action and they were wrong. Calling it now. Has this been done to death? Like a misunderstood villain or like the woman villain being misunderstood? Misunderstood villain has been like done a few times. I don't know if it's certainly not more common for it to be a woman though. Right? Another Weinstein comment. Anytime someone says there's no good or evil, I know right away that person is evil, or at least evil adjacent. You know who believed in absolute good and evil? Every terrible person in history. Should I bring up Hitler? I don't think that he had a nuanced perspective of good and evil. I'm pretty sure Hitler didn't have the gray mentality. I'm pretty sure he had the black and white mentality. Pretty sure he thought the same way that you're saying people should think. How does this lady even have a job given who she was the assistant to with 2 O's? This is exhausting. This is genuinely exhausting.
Hey everyone, Olivia here. Thank you all for watching as usual. It's April of 2024, so here are my patrons for the month. My $5 nut patrons are, and I'm going to try to speedrun this, Michael Bradley, Sam3824, Clarice Carlson, Nico Fuentes, Joel999, Speak of the Joker, Mayra Geek, Mead Marmalade, Silverwind, Toby White, Sknot On, Happy the Knife, Coolest Shirt, www.openclassactions.com, Emil Blank, Judah McKin, Slayer, T King, Sliv88, Electrica as an Ordinary Bad Gamer, Yup, the Super One Blair, Zachary Kane, Monkshid Psychosis, and Lemonade Warriors participating in the hit game Among Us and is considered the Encroacher. Oh, that was a little better than last time. Alright. Thanks for all the super nice comments you've been giving me. I get a lot of comments saying I seem happier now that I've transitioned, and I think I really, I get a lot of comments saying I seem happier now that I've transitioned, and I think I really am. Thank you all for supporting me. You're all amazing. Take care, everybody.